I was sitting on the couch yesterday morning, and like most Sunday mornings, I was reading some books to my 3-year-old daughter, and we enjoy many different books. We enjoy reading Dr. Seuss, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie, all the classics. But one of our favorite book series is Frog and Toad. Each book in the series, if you're not familiar, tells of the exploits of two characters, a frog and a toad named Frog and Toad, amphibious friends who get into all sorts of adventures, such as flying kites and building snowmen and riding bicycles. I've been a Frog and Toad fan going back 30 years, to my own early childhood. Anyway, as I was reading one of the books to my daughter yesterday, the thought occurred to me that maybe there's a Frog and Toad TV show that we can watch. So after we finished the book, I looked it up to see if there was a show. And as it happens, great coincidence, there is a Frog and Toad series which just debuted last week on Apple TV. And I was excited about the news. But then the cynical part of my brain took over. If this was a PBS show from 1993, well, there'd be nothing to worry about. These days, though, we know that no kid's show is safe, even one as innocent and charming as Frog and Toad. So I realized that I need to do a little bit more research to make sure that nothing has been done to wokeify the stories. But then as I started to do that, I thought to myself, come on, what are you worried about? What are they going to do to Frog and Toad?
They turn the friggin' frogs gay.
What, are they going to turn them into gay lovers or something? Let's be serious. Well, it only took about 5 seconds of Googling to pull up this headline on the Daily Beast. Quote, Frog and Toad are still gay in Apple's new kids show. Not just gay, you notice, still gay. Because they were gay all along, we're told. Okay, so a few things here. First of all, the conservatives, the right, we're always accused of turning everything into a culture war. But as usual, that accusation is nothing but projection from the left. And in fact, that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen in reaction to this very segment that you're currently listening to. Okay? Media Matters is going to take it, and they're going to say, Matt Walsh goes on unhinged rant about Frog and Toad, acting like we're the ones who have made it ideological and political. We're the ones who have found some sort of messaging in it, when in fact, they're telling us that they put the messaging in the show. They are the ones who won't allow anything at all to remain outside of the culture war. It was just a story about a frog and a toad who were friends and went on adventures. It was utterly neutral on the question of homosexuality. It didn't render a verdict. It was not concerned with the issue. And that was okay. More than okay. It's what we should be able to expect of children's entertainment. Okay, the author of the book came out as gay. So what? Well, are you saying that gay people are incapable of creating something that has nothing to do with being gay? So he might have been gay, but the story that he wrote down and illustrated was just about a frog and a toad who were friends. That's what it was. LGBT activists cannot allow anything to be neutral. Everybody and everything and every show and every book and every story must take a position on the LGBT issue, the only issue they care about. And of course, that position must be one of full acceptance of whatever LGBT activists believe and whatever they want to do. We should understand that according to the left, we are all sexual beings and only sexual beings. There's nothing else about us that matters. We are walking, talking sets of genitals wandering around and looking for other sets to bump into, according to them. They look out at the world through this lens of compulsive sexual preoccupation. They cannot conceive of anything as existing apart from that. Even a children's book about a frog and a toad gets sucked into this sex-obsessive whirlwind. Everything does. Nothing escapes. Stories of male friendship especially do not escape. It's naturally hard enough for boys to form deep and meaningful friendships with each other. It's even harder as they grow older, become men. Because as guys, we don't typically like to do things like talk and share our feelings. And we can more easily become totally absorbed in our work and our responsibilities and our hobbies, the things that we do. And we can become completely invested in that and leaving no time for friendships and oftentimes no desire for them, which isn't actually healthy. It's not a good thing. And that's why it's important to emphasize the value of friendship, especially to boys, and to provide examples of it. Even these innocent, childish kind of examples in children's books. But those examples are being systematically taken away as the left insists that every male friendship has a homoerotic subtext. This has the effect of making male friendships seem even less desirable to the males themselves. Like, I can't think of a better way to make sure that boys don't become friends with each other than by having the left sitting there and pointing to every example of male friendship in pop culture and saying, oh, they must be gay. Why else would they be hanging out so much? It's like you're intentionally trying to dissuade boys from becoming friends with each other. It's almost as if you're intentionally trying to create more isolation, more loneliness, less companionship, which of course is exactly what they're doing. But these are not stories for adults. At least they aren't supposed to be. You know, it would be very strange for an adult to sit in the living room by himself and watch Frog and Toad. Just as it'd be very strange for him to sit there by himself and read a stack of Frog and Toad books. These are meant for children. We are meant to introduce our children to these stories and experience the stories with them. But children are supposed to be the focus, not adults. And yet, even putting the gay stuff aside, we see again how a generation of overgrown adolescent 30-somethings suffocating in their nostalgia for the past continually insist that the characters and stories of their childhood remain in their possession, that these things continue to cater to them instead of passing those things on to the next generation of children, which is how this is supposed to work. No, instead, everything is made gay. Alex Jones was right once again. They really are turning the frickin' frogs gay. And the frickin' toads too. And that is why my old friends, Frog and Toad, most certainly are not canceled. But the people responsible for this gayified adaptation are today and forever, and with great prejudice, canceled.